Hello. We're getting ready to begin a new semester, and you are registered for medical terminology on just an online course at the Community College of Baltimore County. And the college uses a software program called Brightspace um, to present their online courses and the online material. So I'd like to take a few minutes as we're getting ready to start our course to review just how our course is going to be set up on um, Brightspace and on uh, what pieces of Brightspace it's going to use and what you need to do to get into Brightspace, and kind of just so you understand how our course is organized there. My name's Margaret Gilbert, and I am a retired full-time professor from CCBC. I was at college more than 30 years. And when I retired, I did keep teaching a few online courses. And so I'm anxious to get started and work with you this semester on our medical terminology course. If you have not ever taken an online course before, you want to make sure that you take a little time, and when you signed in or when you sign into Brightspace, and it is located, you reach it from the college's website under My CCBC, and all of your credentials, your username and password are the same as they are for your email and your My CCBC. But you want to take a little time, make sure you use some of the tutorials that are here for getting acquainted with Brightspace, the Brightspace orientation video, a little bit about Pulse, which is the app that would let you put Brightspace on your phone. Brightspace we use as an email communication tool, and if you look, see there's an envelope here in Brightspace, and that's how you get to the email. And what it does is it actually sends email through your CCBC email address. So if you send me something, it'll come to my CCBC email address. And if I send you or the whole class something, it will go to your CCBC email addresses. So take a little time if you're not familiar with Brightspace and make sure that you do that. When you're here in the main Brightspace page, what you want to look for is the medical terminology course for this semester. We'll click on it. And right now I am signed into Brightspace as a learner. So hopefully in my little walk through this, my screen will look pretty similar to what you're going to see. First thing that is here is the announcement page. And announcements are very important. You want to check several times a week, daily, and check your email, check your announcements. Make sure that there aren't things going on or things that you need to pay attention to. The opening announcement is here, and I also have emailed it to everyone. So at the beginning of, before the semester starts, so that you have ample time to kind of get used to looking around Brightspace and hopefully get your book. And that's important, get your book so you can get started. The link is here for the introductory video, but you're watching it, so I'm pretty sure you found that in some way, shape, or form. It also, I just want to reiterate that it's important that you get your book. We're going to use the Medical Terminology for Health Professions, 9th edition by Alhl. It's available at the CCBC bookstore. And you could go to the bookstore, or you could order it from the online CCBC bookstore. It's, I understand, available both places. If you're waiting for your textbook to be delivered, don't wait to begin the course. You want to get right in Brightspace and begin doing everything you can do, and then you can finish up reading your chapter and doing the work in the actual textbook. But we built the first chapter 1 work, so there's some things that you can watch. There's some things that you can do and submit without actually having your book. That doesn't mean that you do need to read chapter 1. It's the real basis where you begin learning about word terms and word parts and prefixes, suffixes, word roots. So that's important that you begin to study. Your beginning of your study is right there, and you learn that information. All right, I'd like to take just a little time so you can see how our course is organized. Let's go to content. And again, this is the top scroll. So in Brightspace, there's two. There's the top scroll bar, and then we'll find, as we move on, there's the side scroll bar. So we're going to go to content, but just take a second. There's content. We'll be using assignments, discussions, quizzes. Here's where you check your grades. Let's go to content right now. Okay, and let's go to getting started. You're in the video, so you're watching. When you're finished that, kind of read through these reminders. In fact, I'll go through them just quickly here. As you plan your study time for you, if you were taking it on campus, you would have about 3 hours of class time. You would leave your class and you would have homework to do and you would have study to do. So you want to make sure that you plan for about the same amount of time to work on your course. And although it's fully online, which means that you can schedule that according to your schedule. In other words, you don't have to be online at any certain time. But you need to make sure that you have about 6 to 9 hours each week where you spend it on learning your terms, on learning how to spell your terms, on doing the readings, the online lessons, the homework assignments, and the quizzes. And some of you may need to spend extra time practicing. Some people come with a little bit of experience or some exposure, and it may be easier for them for some times. But the course is built for people who have no experience. But it does take work on your part. It's like learning a new language. Each week, the work is due on Tuesday evening, 11:59 p.m. The health professions folks are sticklers for have it in on time. You have to be on time. There's no extensions. There's no, oops, I forgot. Oops, anyway, excuses. So if you have things coming up, you can always do work ahead. You don't have to wait till 11:59 to submit it. So you want to make sure you get your work in on time. In that opening announcement, I announced 3 Zoom sessions during the first week of class where you choose to, and they're not mandatory. You do not have to. But if you had additional questions or just wanted to hear what other people had to say, sign into one of those 3 sessions, and I will send out a separate email and announcement for each of the sessions. And next is print a copy of your syllabus and weekly schedule. Keep them with your book or your course materials. That way, whether you're online or you just want to check something quick, you can see exactly what it is you need to be working on as of that week or week. Again, it's important you get your book and you get started. It's so very important in an online course, and especially this one, especially because it's such a building course where you're building on each week's work. And you have a certain amount of things you really need to master, you need to learn, and then add on what's coming next week and the next week. So please get book and get started. Then there's some other things you should take a look at here in getting started. The online etiquette, online readiness tools, technical requirements, a bit more about Brightspace and how what your computer needs are. The Pulse app, that's the one that you can put on your phone to reach Brightspace. Technical support, if you're having trouble with Brightspace or Respondus, which is the testing software we'll be using, you can contact the CCBC IT team, and that tech support information is there. Online technical skills, what you need to be able to do. There's resources for CCBC students, and that's kind of resources for online students. So the bookstore and the online testing center information help you. Takes you to the website where you can find that information. The Respondus Quick Start Guide. I mentioned it above just a second ago. When we get to the midterm and the final, you can either take them using Respondus, which is software you need to load on your computer. Your computer you have to have a good internet source, and you have to have video and audio available on your recording on your computer microphone. So if you have that and you can load it and you have enough oomph in your computer to do it, you can actually take the tests, the midterm and final, at home. If you don't, then you need to make arrangements and go to one of the testing centers. But right here, this quick start guide will tell you how you actually load the Respondus on your computer. And then we'll have an opportunity, a practice quiz where you can test it out and can make sure that it's working well. There's discussion citation page for articles. In other words, in our discussions, you have to have references. So this is a site showing you how you make those citations, how you make those, type those references on discussion. And last is the getting started quiz. So by the end of the first week, if you've gone through all the getting started material, you want to take the little quiz, and it will actually just show you where quizzes are and just double check you on everything that you've been reading and doing. Let's now go down what is the side scroll bar here and take a look at some of the things that are here. First of all, we need to just take a look at the syllabus. And again, I recommend that you print this because this is kind of like our guide, our contract of what we're going to do here in the course. Again, my name's Margaret Gilbert, and there's my CCBC email, and that's how you would reach me. Again, it's a fully online course, 3 credits, but as I said, you at least 6 hours a week of time scheduled to work on your course. Here's the textbook that we're going to be using, Medical Terminology for the Health Professions, the 9th edition. Ehrlich and Schroeder are the authors, published by Cengage. I do not know if book rental is still available. We check at the bookstore. I'm not sure, but it certainly is there for sale in either the ebook or the textbook. And again, that is up to you. You can decide which one are to have. Of course, objectives, major topics. And of course, major topics are first, we're going to learn how to build medical terms and all the parts of medical terms. And then we're going to start putting them all together. And we're going to do that based on all the major systems in the human body. So cardiovascular, respiratory, digestive, musculoskeletal, endocrine, the nervous and mental system, urinary, reproductive, special senses, lymphatic and immune, start with that. Evaluation. There are 5 units in our course, and in each unit, you need to post a discussion, and the discussion needs to have an original post that's your research or information you're posting, and then you need to reply to one of your fellow students' posts. And you need to have references for your post and for the information you're posting to their to the reply to their post. There's a rubric. You want to follow it because that's how you make sure you get all the points. So at the end of the semester, the average of your score on all the discussion board assignments, and it counts for 10% of your grade. All of your assignments for each of the 15 chapters, for all the assignments and all the homework, will be averaged, and that counts for 20% of your grade. At the end of each chapter, you'll do a chapter review exercise. At the end of the semester, they'll be averaged. Take 20% of that. 4 major tests. The 4 first units, there's a unit test. At the end, we'll average those and take 30% of that score. Midterm exam counts for 10%. Final exam counts for 10%. And add that's all up and 100% of whatever your grade is. So you can take chapter review exercises as many times as you want right up to the end of the course. They're great tools for reviewing and practicing and studying for both the midterm and the final. Discussion board, you just need to make sure you meet all the requirements for those posts. Don't leave out the references. Make sure for the original post you have 2 references. Make sure for the reply post you have 1 reference. Make sure you do them properly. Make sure you're doing a thorough job presenting enough material and facts. It tells you, the rubric tells you exactly what you need to include. Do that, you'll get all the points, and that's what you want to do. Don't be late on your assignments at homework. Do it thoroughly. Get 20% of that. Study for your tests. Hopefully you'll get all 30%. And anyway, it's all good. So you see, before you ever get to the midterm and the final, 30, 50, 57, you have 80% of your grade. You don't lose any points there. You already have 80% in the course. So it's up to you. Do good daily, weekly work, and you'll be in better shape when you get to the midterm and the final. So how your grade is determined there, with each an A, B, C, D. Hopefully no one's in the F area, what the percentage is to earn each of those grades. There's course procedures, again, the etiquette statement. And so print that out, keep it with you so you can refer to it if you need. Next thing, I want to make sure you know where it is. So everybody goes, oh, what's due? What are we doing? What are we doing? Here it is, weekly calendar and schedule. And I'd print it. So you have a copy. Have a copy right with you. It's by week 1, and we're doing unit 1. The date for this week is August 25th through September 2nd. We're going to be doing chapter 1. Read chapter 1, and in the bright space, this is what we're going to complete. And we need to do it by Tuesday, September 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Then we have week 2, week 3, and they're all unit 1. And we're going to unit 2, it's 4, 5, and 6. There's the unit 2 test. It's the midterm. We go on to unit 3, which is chapters 7, 8, and 9. Unit 4, 10, 11, 12. Unit 5, chapters 13, 14, and 15. And then the final exam. So that's the weekly schedule. So you want to make sure, have that handy. It's right here if you just need to go back and check it online. Next week, each week we're going to be doing spelling words, spelling terms for the chapters. And each chapter has a list of terms, which are the most frequently used terms. The people who are working in the health professions say these are the ones we'll start right off. You want to know how to spell them. You want to know how to define them. You don't need to. You're not going to be looking them up. You need to know them. So you're going to build a list and you're going to define them and use that list to study. And to get to it, you just click on it. Here's the terms for Unit 1 by chapter. On it. You can print this out. Just print it out, and here's chapter 1. The first column. Then there's for the second chapter, chapter 15, which is all the chapters in the first unit. So print that out and you'll have it. And when you're doing your homework, chapter 1, the spelling terms, these are the ones you're going to be using. Okay, let's go back to our contents here. Because when you're defining them and when you're spelling them, you're going to use each week this medical terminology spelling worksheet. Okay, so you'll kind of copy it over into Word or whatever you use as your word processing software. You type the term, you type the definition in. Then you want to print one out and use that to study. And you're going to submit a copy of it under assignments. And there is, we'll look at that in just a minute and you can see hopefully where you're going to submit it at the end of the first week. Let's go back to 10. There's one of those for each chapter. So all semester long, all 15 chapters, you're going to be doing a list of terms. And again, print it out, keep them, because you can use that when you get to the tests and you're ready to start studying. Good basis for that. That and the chapter review quizzes. Okay, let's come down. Let's go into what actually we're going to be doing during the week. Okay. We just reviewed that during in Unit 1. There's 3 weeks, week 1, 2, and 3. So that's chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 15. Your reading for week 1, of course, is chapter 1. And it's pages 1 through 17. And then after you thoroughly read the chapter, you're going to complete Unit 1, Lesson 1, Unit 1, Lesson 2. And there's some online activities that are right here. They're going to be right down underneath this. Unit 1, Homework 1. Of course, to get to the homework, you can go to Assignments here, or Homework and Assignments here. Chapter review quiz and your Unit 1 discussion introduction. On Brightspace, you want to read, listen to the directions in Unit 1 homework, which is the information about APA citations and format. And you go to quizzes in the top of the Brightspace ribbon, fill your answers in on the Homework 1 quiz. Come up here, quizzes. Homework 1 quiz. That's what you would do after you have studied the APA information. Content. Okay. Now, if we look down here, here's Unit 1, Chapter 1, Lesson. It's telling you what you're going to do. Again, I kind of got ahead of myself here, showing you we went after you did the APA information. Here contains the Unit 1, Lesson 1 contains a video for you to watch, which is Understanding Medical Terminology. It's right there. Then there's another video which you're going to watch about APA format and citations. It's right here. So you watch both of those. Then, as I showed you, you go to your quizzes and you go ahead and take that Homework 1 quiz. Then once you're finished everything for the chapter, you want to do the chapter review quiz. And you want to do your midterm spelling worksheet. So that's what you have to do in order to complete the first week's work. So here's Lesson 1 again. Here we are with those. Lesson 2 is your importance of medical terminology. That's where you're going to begin thinking about how you're going to do that discussion post about the importance of terminology and spelling and terminology. And that'll be uh, where you go into discussions, and that's actually going to be next week. We posted for that. See it for the discussions. Maybe if you want, it's not a no, it's not available yet. I'll have to make that. See. You can do your introduction too, so we'll make sure that you can do this. Okay. So that is basically how each week works. You work through each week. When you get ready for chapter 2 next week, again, it always starts with reading the chapter. Then there can be some videos or references of things that you need to do. There's always your spelling exercise. And so each week, you're going to kind of get used to just what it is you need to do. Your spelling practice, your chapter review. Those are working through assignments, homework and assignments here you can use. Again, assignments up here. We go to assignments up here. Let's just go and look. Again, there's that homework 1, which is going to tell you, I'm not going to do anything here, but you want to go do your homework 1 quiz. Okay? But it tells you, here's the assignment. Here's what you're doing. And here are the tutorials again that you're going to watch. You don't submit anything in this one, but you do go to do the homework 1 quiz. Let's cancel that. Okay, here's your spelling assignment. It tells you your frequently used medical terms. There's the link to the list of terms. There's to the midterm spelling sheet, the worksheet. Okay. There's an example. So number 1, abnormal. And there's the meaning. You're going to do a whole list of words and you're going to practice spelling. Now, when you want your chapter review quiz, you come to quizzes. We'll be doing at the end of each chapter. Okay. Let's go down. There's Unit 1, Chapter 1, Chapter Review. And that's where that quiz is. And again, those you can do as many times as you want. All the other homework quizzes and assignments you need to have done by the end of that week's work. So notice that you can, at least for part of the first week, not again, you want to read the chapter before and as soon as you get your book. But there's plenty that you can work on and do while you're waiting for your textbook to be delivered. That's basically week after week how we're going to be working through the course. Again, we're following carefully the weekly calendar and schedule. So you want to make sure you have that at your fingertips. If you're not sure, just go back to your printed copy. I will each week, kind of after the week gets started, post an announcement that again just reviews by the end of the week what it is you need to have finished. So after the week gets started, you can go back and check your announcements, and you want to do that frequently during the week. And it'll just kind of review for you what it is that needs to be done that week. Again, I hope that helps you find what you need to do each week. Again, all of your links to each of the units. There's for Unit 2. And then if you go to Unit 2, you'll see under Unit 2, you have your chapter, there's Chapter 3, there's Chapter 4. Then you get down, there's Chapter 5 and the lessons that are underneath it. And then there's Unit 3, 4, Unit 5. There's that other link to homework and assignments. And again, that just is the same thing as assignments up at the top. There's your chapter reviews, your test and your midterm and final, and that's the same as the quizzes up at the top. Answers. There's the link. And all the answers to the book are here. You're using the book, and it's all kinds of good information there. Go ahead and do that. But if you can't figure out an answer, they're right there. You have them. Chapter review answers are here. Now, before it'll show you the answers, you have to attempt the test. You have to at least get a couple of them right and attempt the test, and then it'll show them to you, and you can see. You don't have to, if you have one that you can't get, you don't have to wait till I get back to you. You can come. So hopefully that keeps you going, and there's enough information here, and it's organized so that you can find what you need to use each week. Again, if you have questions, try and make one of the Zoom meetings during the first week of class. And I hope you have a wonderful semester and successful semester. Thanks for paying attention.